It's 11 o'clock and time for Ask Pastor Deb with Pastor Deborah Watlington House here on WOSDRadio.com. Let her story about recovery inspire you. And of course, you're welcome to ask questions from this woman of God. And now, it's time to Ask Pastor Deb.
Good morning and welcome to Ask Pastor Deb. I am Pastor Deborah Watlington House, the host for the hour. I've been a pastor for 20 years. I love to share the good news of Jesus in a variety of unique and radical ways. I am the worship coordinator at Free Worship Center, and our motto is, it's not church, it's cyber worship. I am a certified peer recovery coach at Ask Pastor Deb Recovery Cafe, who provides a form of strength-based support for persons in or seeking recovery from alcohol and other drugs and other addictions. This show gives you an opportunity to ask me about different topics. I invite you to sit back and enjoy the show. Today's topic is Don't Do It, Let God Do It. Welcome back to Ask Pastor Deb on this beautiful Sunday morning. I'm going to talk about the risk of relapse in recovery. I know I've been bringing you guys the Word of God because that's what's been in my spirit. But now today I was asked to kind of help some people out with this thing called relapse. In order to not relapse, we must understand that we just can't do it. Nike made $1 million, trillions of dollars, I should say, off their slogan, which was coined in 1988, just do it. Now, I have my own slogans that kept me sober, and they are tweaked a little bit from the Nike slogan. And they are, don't do it, and let God do it. You see, my new normal is amazing. I admit that I am powerless when it comes to my battle with addiction, but I also admit my God is powerful, and He has healed me from the bondage of addiction. He has given me everything I need to remain sober, and He is keeping me from relapsing. All I have to do is keep my mind on Him and the things of God. When I surrendered my struggle with alcoholism, all of it over to God, all hell broke loose. Now, I know you're probably lost, and a whole bunch of my listeners are about to turn this program off because of the statement. And a lot of you are probably so confused by my truth. I was ready to begin my sobriety journey. I took off my clergy attire. I let go of who I was to everybody else. I stopped caring for and about everyone else's needs and became naked and open in the face and arms of God. I decided to trust God and fight like and fight for my way out of the hell I was going through just to stay sober, because I know I am victorious through Jesus Christ. You see, I'm glad I can be an example. I often tell my friends how glad I am that God exposed me. And I'm always tickled by one of my friends' responses. Well, I'm glad He didn't expose me. God let me know the moment I surrendered, my struggles, he was going to make me an example. And I have been open about my experiences with alcoholism. It does not bother me to share my truth. I'm not scared to share my testimony or my daily struggles and victories because they all bring God glory. It's my new normal, and I'm not ashamed that I am healing through recovery. The best part about my exposure, I have been chosen by God to help others get to Him so He can release them from their addiction bondage. I live life to the fullest. My new normal is living my life to its full potential. With God leading and guiding me, my every step is ordered by God. There are so many scriptures I meditate and study daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. There are many recovery resources I have access to, and I'm not ashamed to use them. Call on those people, out to those hotlines whenever I need it. But it is my relationship with Christ that keeps me from going back to the darkest place in my journey. So instead of doing things like most people do in recovery, I do things just a little bit different. I do things that are tailored just for me. I was fortunate enough to be able to attend an IOP, which stands for Intensive Outpatient Treatment. Yes, I love it. And I was even able to attend basic outpatient treatment therapy. One of the things that they taught me there was to own my addiction and to be in charge of my own recovery. And if you can get that up under your belt, you would never have to worry about relapsing. Now, that was great advice, and I took it well, and I did, but unfortunately for me, it's been a great struggle. But even in the struggle, God has allowed me to be able to do the things that He taught me in order to survive the struggle. So instead of a bucket list, as they suggested that we all have, I have a victory list. The first thing on my victory list is to write books, because I have so much inside of me that could be shared in order to help someone else along the way. The other, number 2, is to change someone's life, because Jesus did it for me, and I want to pay it forward. My struggle with alcoholism started at the age of 14. And although I picked up my first drink at the age of 6, the identity of the alcoholism began at 14. At the age of 14, I was a full-blown alcoholic, and nobody knew it but me. I'm not sure if anybody even recognized any of the triggers or any of the symptoms that I carried as a result of this awful disease that I have called alcoholism. At the age of 14, I was drinking 40 ounces on the porch every day. 14. I had a friend or a neighbor who was able to go and cop because she was older. I believe she was about 18, so she at least looked 18. And they allowed her to do a lot of things that most of us are not able to do at 14 or even 18. So it all started there. Not realizing that at 14, there's no way I should be drinking 40 ounces every day. And it wasn't just the 40 ounces. I would drink anything that I found in that well-stocked bar that we had in our basement. Everybody had a bar. It was the thing to do. So once I got over the fact that I was an alcoholic and I went through the things that I went through, and everybody found out about my big secret that I had, that I was an alcoholic, and I decided to do something about it and went through treatment, I was able to share my life experiences with others by becoming a peer recovery coach. So that's the second thing that's already done on my victory list. I had about 10 things on that victory list, but I just want to talk about the first 3. And the third one, is dream big. That's on my victory list. And as I continue to dream big, I am going to be able to be a blessing and share that gospel and good news of Jesus that I tell you every time I come on the line, that's what I'm here for. I was created to do that, to share the gospel, the good news of Jesus the Christ. And I just happen to dream big, and one day I'm going to be able to bless women and men in their struggle by owning my own recovery house. I'm still dreaming big. And in order to make those dreams come true, I started working on things that would help me not do it, not relapse. I wrote a letter to my lover, alcohol. I wrote this letter last week because I had been working with some of my clients in Iowa and even in Georgia. And they ask me all the time, how do you do it? I love your posts on social media. They're helping me, but I just want to know how you do it. And so one of the things that I assigned them to do is to write a letter to that thing that kept them bound, that kept them in addiction, that kept them in bondage. And remind yourself what you never want to go back to. So I wrote a letter to my lover, alcohol. It's been a long time since I've desired you. I remember daily how much fun we had together. Now I must admit, I never thought I could live without you. I've been sober 2 years and 2 months, and I'm very grateful. It is not easy, and I believe my God keeps me humble by allowing me to endure the pain of my bad choices so I may continue to seek His help and not. Alcohol, pride was one of my biggest issues, and it kept me drunk and insane for so many years. It took me a long time to admit I had a serious drinking problem. I just thought every now and then I drank too much. Now, alcohol, you were my go-to person. I could share everything with you, and you never said anything.